Hello and welcome. My name is Dr. Sonya Maya. This is Sonya Maya Psychology. My channel covers relationship tips, psychology facts, and real life applications when it comes to sexual health and sexuality in general. So if you like that kind of content, make sure to finger that like button, also subscribe and turn on bell notifications to learn more. Today I'm going to be talking about some communication tips, specifically when it comes to couples. And just as a disclaimer, this video does not replace going to a couples therapist, but please do keep these tips in mind for improving overall communication and intimacy in your relationship. I'm going to cover 3 phrases or statements, whatever you want to call them, that you do not want to say to your partner. And a lot of them are inspired by Dr. John Gottman. Dr. John Gottman has over 40 years of amazing research after working with thousands of couples. So if you go on the Gottman Institute website, there's a lot of really great resources. I will be putting some below in the description if you want to take a look for yourself. Communication is obviously so important in relationships. Relationships pretty much are communication because you don't have a relationship without communication. Therefore, silence or avoidance can be destructive, and lack of open communication and honesty within a relationship means the intimacy and sense of emotional safety is slowly diminishing. And according to the California Divorce Mediation Project, 80% of divorced couples grew apart after losing a sense of closeness due to lack of communication. And given the current divorce rates, 50-50, we could all use some help here. The first phrase you never want to say to your partner is, "You never offer to help me." Speaking in absolutes opens the door for somebody else to defend themselves, because you might be feeling like somebody never helps you. You're always the one doing all the household work. Maybe that is true, that is how you feel, but automatically that is going to turn into a defense. Because let's say that person did the dishes 2 weeks ago, their automatic defense is gonna be like, "No, remember when I did the dishes 2 Fridays ago," or whatever the case may be. Oh yeah, they're automatically going to defend themselves, and then you're just gonna end up being in the same pattern as before. When emotions are high, that defensiveness, "you never do this," is almost always what couples do. And look, I'm doing it right now. It's almost always. It's true. A lot of couples do this. I've noticed that with a lot of my couples therapy clients, that when I hear one person talking to another person, "You never tell me you love me. You never show me affection. We never cuddle," those types of things. And it almost always puts the other person on the defense. Instead, say something like, "I thought it would be nice if we took turns taking out the trash." Or, "I feel frustrated when it seems like the housework is put on me." When in doubt, use "I feel blank." The reason that "I feel" statements work is because you're less likely to get a defensive response. This leaves room for the other person's experience without criticizing them. Number 2, you're allowing an opportunity for your partner to validate how you feel. Of course, this isn't always going to happen, but you're less likely for it to continue that pattern of ineffective communication if you use "I feel blank." Number 2 of a statement that you do not want to say to your partner: "Why are you always blank? Why are you always so insecure? Why are you always so needy?" Those types of things, no. This can come off as very insulting. It's communicating that their expressed needs are more of a personality trait rather than being their expressed needs. Even if you don't think that they're being reasonable in that moment, saying "why are you always" is a direct criticism and insult. According to the Gottman Institute, it can be more effective to say, "What do you need from me?" Or, "What can I do to make you feel safe with me?" For example, if it's a situation where somebody is feeling like they can't trust you, maybe they have some wounds, and maybe you didn't do anything to deserve the treatment of them wanting to look through your phone, for example. "What can I do to make you feel safe with me?" would be a more effective response here. Another reason why are you always blank is not as effective is because, again, absolutes. Using any words like always or never, criticizing your partner, and also at the same time, we tend to expect our partners to read our minds rather than expressing what we want or asking, "What do you need?" Number 3 of another mistake that you don't want to make, a certain phrase you don't want to say, is "Don't tell me what to do," or "You left the dishes out again." Bottom line, pointing out what they did wrong. Instead of talking about what they did wrong, practice starting the conversation with what they can do better. And yes, this might take practice, especially if your automatic instinct is to point out everything they did wrong. Set them up for success. So in the future, they are more likely to meet your needs. So instead of saying, don't tell me what to do, you could say something like, I feel triggered when I feel like I am being demanded. This is how I'm feeling. I need you to support me, or I need to feel supported from a partner. I don't necessarily feel supported when it seems that you are putting commands on me. The reason that this might be so hard, right, is because we're often scared of rejection. We might be scared of rejection, and this comes from early childhood. For example, when you're a little kid and you want some attention from your mother and your mother is busy. Like, mommy, look at this picture I drew. And then she might say, oh, not now, honey. And that really hurts. That actually translates into adulthood, and we learn to suppress our needs and wants. And that turns into us wanting our partners to be mind readers sometimes instead of actually expressing what I want. Because if I actually ask for what I want, then rejection can happen, and that really hurts. If the example is doing the dishes, let's say you always do the dishes every single night and you're getting sick and tired of it. You want some help with the dishes. Try saying something like, can we do the dishes together? It would really make me feel loved. There's also this other way that you can do it that I learned from a Gottman Institute website article by Angeline Bagley, a nurse and writer for the Gottman Institute. Do you want to help me with blank? The Gottman Institute says that if you say, do you want to help me with blank, it takes the pressure off you and it puts blame on them for not fulfilling a promise that they never made. You could also make it playful. For example, I know you want to help me with those dishes, or it really depends on the context, but you could say something like, it seems like maybe you want to help me with the dishes tonight. Or, I know you want to help me with the dishes. Obviously, if things are high tension, and you don't have that type of dynamic with your partner, then maybe don't. But playfulness is really healthy in relationships. So if things have been pretty good between the two of you, you know, I did work on dinner tonight, so maybe you want to help me with the dishes. If you're still struggling within your relationship dynamic to communicate, it can be really helpful to seek help from a couples therapist. It might feel kind of weird and uncomfortable to communicate with your partner. And unfortunately, we're not taught these things in school. I really think that we should be taught this growing up, ways to communicate, because we might have also picked up very unhealthy communication styles from our parents. We might have, unfortunately, grown up in a household where communication was not very effective, or there was a lot of yelling and that kind of thing. How would we even know to communicate in an effective way, especially if you grew up in a household without that communication? That's kind of like being mad at yourself for not being taught a certain language. We aren't taught that language as humans to communicate in a way that makes us feel heard, but also communicates our needs. It's more so of this mindset of, I want that person to read my mind, and if they know exactly what I want without me telling them, then that means I'm loved. But really, according to the Gottman Institute, you can't really be mad at that person for not fulfilling a need that you've never expressed. Think of going to couples therapy as, let's say you have a car, there's something wrong with the engine. You don't know how to fix it yourself. You don't know anything about cars. So yeah, let's take it to a shop and see if they can help. Or maybe, my teeth are doing fine for a while. All of a sudden I have a toothache. I don't want to fix that myself. So everything was going okay for a while in the relationship with my teeth. All of a sudden there's something up with it, so let me go to a dentist, see what's going on with that. I know it's a little bit of a weird analogy, but you get me, you get me. I hope that you learned something new from this video. I hope you found this video helpful. I'm gonna be posting more real life applications to psychology, relationships, and sex education every Sunday. So please make sure to like and subscribe and turn on bell notifications if you like this kind of content, and let me know below, what did you think was the most helpful, or what do you want to work on the most? Have you ever used any of those phrases that I mentioned in the video? Because that's totally normal. Like I said, almost everybody, not to use absolutes, but almost everybody has at some point. So no shame, it's okay. We're all here to learn together. And I hope you have a great rest of your week, and I'll see you next week for another Sex Ed Sundays. Bye.